everybody, and welcome to Guys on Gaffr. My name is Joel.
My name is David.
And we are here with our Game Week 2 reactions video, following on from what we did last week. Abhishek can't be with us today, unfortunately, due to work commitments, but we wanted to get a video out anyway. So we're just going to go over our scores, a couple of things stood out to us from Game Week 2, and early transfer thoughts for Game Week 3. So let's jump straight in. David, how did you get on in Game Week 2? What moves did you make in the end, and how did it go for you?
Yeah, so the moves I made did actually go very well because I took it out Sinistera and took in Mavdidi. I got a 12-pointer, so that was nice. And I got 69 points, which was a game week rank of 772. I don't know if that's good or not, but I'm at the rank 404, so I'm okay with that. But like it was a bit mixed because the players that got points, but the players that didn't got nothing. Like I have Mannings
Really?
like everyone else. Yeah, and like Edosi got 0 because he got the yellow card at the 44th minute and got subbed in the 48th. So he's probably a sell. I can talk about that later, but the most frustrating thing, and yeah, my team is living up to my team name. I knew this was gonna happen. Bench points FC. I started Ashby and not Rowe, and he's got 17 points on the bench in the first 2 game weeks, so that's great. So he's I'm starting him. I'm not letting this happen again. If I had watched the highlights, which I said what would do before the season, then I would probably have started him. So this is my own fault.
Yeah, he did look great in Game Week 1. He did look great.
Yeah,
Still, that's an alright score, and being 404th after the first 2 game weeks is not a bad place to be.
Yeah, sure.
It's early days, isn't it? Right. My terrible team. I got 51 points this week. I did James Ward-Prowse to Teller and not Madvididi. One of the things it's just really hammered home is that one return makes such a big difference, because it's not just worth 5 points, it's worth like 9 points because Madvididi got like 4 bonus. So
yeah, you get crazy bonus for that.
That's from crazy. 1 goal, and he got from like 0.07 xg, and like he didn't do much all game, Madvididi, but he sticks 1 in the back of the net and it's 11 points down. So yeah, that's a shame. Aside from that, so obviously Dewsbury Hall captain. To be honest, I would have rather have not got those points because of Madvididi. And apart from that, like ranking Costello won a pen, that was nice. And the double Ipswich clean sheet, but Pirot and Yates doing nothing. Pirot, he's looked all right underlying stats wise, but once again, he is kind of destroying my start to the season because no Armstrong, with Armstrong's 2 penalties.
Oh, you don't have Armstrong?
I don't have Armstrong, and obviously scored 2
pens.
Oh,
no.
It's not good.
I was wondering, but that makes sense why our score is like 13 points lower than the whole game, basically.
Yeah. And then Nisbet didn't do well either. Again, he's not been a good pick. So, like, I've got some things right, like Semedo is a bad pick, which I thought, but, having Nisbet instead hasn't exactly turned out well. So, yeah. Patrick Roberts, I'm actually happy to own him. He's got 2 4-pointers and he's proving to be good for bonus like I thought. I'm just hoping he can get some returns in the next couple. And yeah, an overall rank of 1.4k is not where I want to be. It feels just like last season, like I'm starting the game like 30 points behind everyone because of just a few key decisions. Like I don't think my team's bad by any stretch of just not going for Armstrong. And like Madvididi this week has really, really killed me a bit. So hopefully things improve. But yeah, not massively pleased with how it's begun. Let's get Abhishek's team up. He got 61 points. Let's see a few of his comments. Yeah, he sends his apologies that he can't be here today because of his work schedule. But yeah, he is very pleased with Frankiar Jensen with his 14-pointer. I think that was a goal and an assist. And then obviously Dewsbury Hall as well as the captain. He's 18 points from the 3 defenders he was pleased with as well. Like Mumba getting a 5-pointer is not too bad. But yeah, he's not best pleased with his forwards. 7 points between them. Yeah, a bit like me. No Armstrong, and he needs a change there as soon as possible. So yeah, a green arrow from 2k last week to 1.1k. So yeah, he's not yet broken into the top 1k, but he believes that will happen next week. And yeah, so that's his team. It's better than mine, but I think we both have a bit of work to do, don't we? In terms of getting our ranks up. Cool. So, a very jam-packed Saturday with all 12 games happening at the same time, apart from the 12:30 game. David, what's the first thing that stood out to you from Game Week 2?
It's more like Game Week 1 and 2, but Leeds look so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I changed my prediction because they're probably going way further down than third, but at least it wasn't first. But I think Abhishek is spot on. Actually, if we judge it by the two first games, it can obviously change, but the way they look right now and with all the chaos with players wanting to leave and not playing, it's not looking good. And I'm glad I sold Sinister, and that was just like on a rumor that he was like having the same situation as Gnonto, but like that was a 12 point difference because he didn't even play and he's not injured or anything. He just so he was the same price as Mavididis, so I just did the move and I'm happy with that. But yeah, their upcoming run isn't that bad, but like they had a draw against Cardiff and lost against Birmingham, so I feel like every fixture could be hard going forward if that's the caliber they are like losing to. So they are facing West Brom, who are doing well actually, a bit under the radar actually. I haven't thought about West Brom that much, but they are playing them, and then Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday, who hasn't been that bad actually.
Sheffield Wednesday. To what we
thought. Yeah,
they did get beat 4-2 by Hull. So
yeah,
they're not looking great.
There you go. That's actually a good point. But Hull, wow. I wish Tufan was a striker and not a midfielder. Side note, he looks very good. But yeah, I'm not going to buy an Elise player soon, and I'm glad I don't have a defender. Like I had Ampadu like all preseason, and then I got rid. So yeah, but I think it's probably in a void until things get a bit sorted, unless you want to go for like Dan James, who's probably pretty nailed right now. But
I don't think any Dan James owner would recommend anyone buying him.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah, that was the first thing, and then the second thing is Swansea. Like you talked a bit about, it feels like a repeat of last season with just Obafemi and Bureau instead. But you said in chat that you feel that like Yates is a bit better. I mean, he probably is, but they have been a bit frustrating fantasy-wise. They scored 2 goals yesterday, so like in real life they got close to a draw. But like it's frustrating with 10 million striker that doesn't do anything. But the point was that I would say is like they have a pretty good run from Game Week 4, and I've seen in the Gaffr chat that Coventry can't defend, so they probably could score that as well. So maybe it's not like super clear cut and you have to get rid. You can just could be patient with him if you want to, but yeah.
Yeah, Piro's actually done okay. I think he's had about 0.7 XG, like so. He's outperformed quite a few players, but obviously not enough to get anything. He's a bit of a dilemma.
Yeah. I feel like I have bigger fires to put out, so I will probably keep. But I can understand if people sell for someone that's doing better. I've seen talk about Sargent and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's like prioritizing transfers early season. So yeah,
prioritization is very difficult at this point. Cool. Shall we go on to my 2? So my first one is I want to talk about Norwich mids, 2 particular Norwich mids, and I'm sure you'll know exactly which 2 I'm talking about: Gabriel Sara and Jonathan Rowe. Yeah. Norwich, obviously you bigged them up, you put them 4th, but Abhishek and I put them a lot lower down in our predicted tables. And so far, Norwich have looked good from an attacking standpoint. Let's talk about Gabriel Sara first, because he looks like a very good pick. I considered him as my Ward-Prowse replacement, but I was put off by the fixtures. With it being Southampton and Millwall, I was wondering if they would come a bit unstuck from an attacking standpoint and they would struggle to create as many chances. But Gabriel Sara obviously had a goal and an assist at the weekend. Didn't return in game week 1, but put up 9 key passes and 2 successful dribbles. And yeah, that basically contributed to a performance of 4 bonus with no returns in a 2-1. So 9 key passes is absolutely insane in one match, to be honest.
That's like numbers we thought we would get from James Ward-Prowse. Like,
yeah, 1.56 expected assists in that game. And then obviously, on Saturday his underlying numbers weren't as strong, but a goal and an assist in terms of XG and XA, but 4 key passes, again, huge. 1 big chance created, 2 successful dribbles. Gabriel Sara is going to be a bonus monster, and I wish I got him, to be honest. But those of you who did, fair play to you. It was a great pick, and he's looked very, very good so far. As for Jonathan Rowe, obviously his minutes aren't as good. 71 minutes and 75 minutes in the last 2 games, but that's not bad. That's 2 starts, 2 goals, decent underlying numbers as well, considering his 4.5. Against Hull, he also put up 5 key passes, which is madness. 1 successful dribble, no key passes though in the Southampton game. So I think Jonathan Rowe is a difficult one because I think he's probably going to start most games, given how well he's started. But he's one of those players that you mean to transfer. Like I'm gonna be intending to transfer him in for the Birmingham's James for a while, but because it's early season and we've all got problems, like, I've got the Sinistera problem to deal with. I need to potentially find a way of bringing in Armstrong or, sort out players like Nisbet. Other people will have like Castagna problems still and Sinistera problems and Semedo problems. Yes, David, you do.
Yeah, no, that was,
and so because we're all firefighting, because we've got all this new information after the first couple of game weeks, we've really got to work out whether we should keep putting off this transfer, or whether we should just get him in before his price becomes like 5 million, because it'll be 5 million in no time if he keeps this up. As you mentioned, prioritization of transfers is key at this stage, and I'm really not sure where I'm going to land on that at the moment. I think it's tricky, but you've got him, so at least you can start him. Like, if you've got him, you're laughing now. Even if you've benched him.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And it's like when people have already 5 midfielders, it's like if they have like Frøkjær, for example. I'm talking Norwegian because I started Norwegian. That word. But if you have him, then you like don't want to downgrade to Rowe if that's like the only one you want to get rid of out of like a power 5. So, and I could see like if people don't have a expensive striker, they can like downgrade one of their mids to Rowe and then get an expensive striker, but then probably they won't play him because they have a 3-4-3 or something. So it's like it's a bit like difficult, like, so I can get that. But yeah,
I've genuinely considered getting Rowe as my Sinistera replacement as a way of and then later on I'll upgrade James. But just because I need, if I need the cash to get Armstrong from Nisbet, then I could also then beat the price rises by getting him early and start him in the next game. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not against that. Like, which position does Rose play in? Is not a DM, like?
He's absolutely not a DM. He's an attacking midfielder. I'm looking at his heat
so
map.
we shouldn't like think of him as a 4.5 midfielder, actually. If he's not a defensive DM.
Yeah, his heat map against Hull is very like he's playing number 10 sort of thing, with maybe or an 8 kind of drifting off to the right slightly. He played a lot deeper in the Southampton game, but I think that's more game state because a lot of the time they were leading against Southampton, so they were defending a lot more. But crazy game though, 4-4. No teller returns is a bit sickening.
I see that.
Right, that's that. The next point that I've got is a bit of a unusual one, I guess, or one that wouldn't be that expected, and it's Preston. Because Preston have done a lot better than I expected them to so far. I mean, they've had Bristol City and Sunderland, so the Sunderland game you'd kind of have on paper as a tough fixture, the Bristol City game less so. And a certain Will Keane has got 2 goals in 2 and like over 20 points for his owners. And just looking at his numbers, I just wonder whether they should be considered. I don't. I think he's probably been a bit lucky. He's only had he had 3 shots in the game against Bristol City, 1 on target, and against Sunderland he just had the 2 shots, 1 on target and one blocked. But he also got an assist at the weekend too. He's cheap. He's only 6 million, and he's going to be pretty talismanic for Preston. I think he's obviously got the championship experience with Wigan. I don't hate the idea of going there at 6 million. He's obviously not a priority transfer in by any stretch. But when I look at his numbers, I would say his returns are probably unsustainable. Probably. I could be wrong about that. But Preston's next few games are not bad at all. I had them off a moment ago. 1 second. They are Sheffield Wednesday, Swansea, Stoke, Plymouth, Birmingham, Rotherham. If you're targeting good fixtures and you want a 6 million striker for Semedo, you could do worse than Will Keane. You could definitely do worse than Will Keane. Obviously, Ipswich strikers are probably more on people's radar because they've got QPR next. And then Leeds, Cardiff, Sheffield Wednesday isn't too bad after that. So the likes of Nathan Broadhead, Connor Chapin, Hurst are on people's radars. But I would consider Keane. I would put him in that list of strikers to consider because I don't think many people will be. But the fixtures coming up are not bad from an attacking standpoint for Preston. You're not in the market for a 6 million striker at all, are you, David?
I could be, like, if I just want to keep Castagna on the bench, but I don't know if he's. Do you think he's going to drop in price eventually, or?
Probably, yeah. But I mean, Castagna will probably leave soon anyway. So.
Yeah, so not the biggest priority if I don't have to get the player that I need to start in that bracket. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I can't wait to get rid of Semedo. So it would be one of either Preston striker or Ipswich striker if I was going there. But they can also rise in price. Broadhead has 19 points in 2 game weeks. So
yeah, exactly. So he could be overlooked. But yeah.
I think probably if the people are going for 6 minute strike, most would probably go Broadhead, but some smart guys will go for Keane, and probably could go very well for them. So I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong answer, but he's not. You shouldn't write him off just because he's not Broadhead.
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. As for Mads Funkjar Jensen, however you say it, I mean, you can correct me if I've said that very badly.
It's a hard name because you have an Ø in there, but it's Frøkjær Jensen.
Frøkjær.
Yeah, close enough.
I tried. Obviously, he's chipped in with a goal and an assist from 0.03 expected assists, and a goal from 0.03 XG in the game. Didn't offer too much in the Bristol City game, but again, he's one of those players that could be okay in good fixtures, but only in good fixtures. Just 2 key passes across the 2 games in terms of successful dribbles, 2 as well. So he's a sort of player that's he's not going to be probably a bonus monster based off of those 2 games. I know it's a small sample, so you're potentially relying on returns from him. But if he is going to be their most kind of creative player, supplying the likes of Will Keane, then maybe you could do well having him. I mean, some people own him, and he's turned out to be a good pick for them. He's certainly not a priority transfer in for me because there's so many other good mids, but keep him on your watch list, I think I would say. Preston, They're a weird team. I don't really, I put them quite low down in my predictions, but Sunderland beating Sunderland is a great result. Sunderland need to get their act together though, don't they?
Yeah.
Cool. We've got actually a little bit of time. Are there any other very brief points you want to raise? Because I appreciate there's a lot of stuff that happened.
I think one of them would be one of my probably players I could think of transferring in, because I've seen we have Sheffield Wednesday fan in our chat, Eskibo, and he's been flagging the guy Juan Delgado for Sheffield Wednesday, who is playing, if according to Footmod, is playing left mid, probably higher up than that. And he got a goal this week. And he, according to Eskibo, is playing very much forward, and he's only 4.5 defender.
Yeah.
And Sheffield Wednesday don't look that bad. So apart from letting in lots of goals, but yeah, if you have a very attacking, it's basically similar to Mumba but a bit cheaper.
You'd need attacking returns from him, really.
Yeah, but he's only 4.5, so you can like bench him in the hard games.
Yeah,
if you want to.
Yeah, indeed.
I don't know his numbers though, but if he's like that Wood guy from Rotherham last season.
Yes,
probably better.
Well, very different type of player, because he was a
he was a centre back
who was just getting loads of set piece goals, as you do. But yeah, I'm just going to get up Imran Losers numbers from the game against Plymouth, because obviously people will be thinking about whether to keep or sell him, or whether he's a buy as well. Obviously, someone I overlooked. He got 3 key passes, 0.14 XG, 0.19 expected assists. So that's okay. In terms of shots, nothing of note, really. 1 off target, 2 blocked. Watford's fixtures are still okay. Stoke away, Blackburn at home, Coventry away, Birmingham at home, West Brom at home. Would you consider him as... I mean, you've sold Sinisterra already. I need to sell Sinisterra. Do you think I should consider him?
Well, I have Lusa from the start. And I was a bit surprised that I got to 0-0 last game, but yeah, he seemed like he was so influential the first game, so I can't see why it will stop. But yeah, you have to like consider which other options you have to have as well. But yeah, I think it's a good buy still.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to hope that Watford are just going to be bad, because that QPR game was QPR. So
that's true.
Yeah, we'll see.
Another player that I mentioned him earlier, but Tufan. I just looked at his stats for the game. He had 0.92 expected goals for his hat trick. He had 4 shots total, but he got a 9.6 rating on Footmob, so it must have been very good. But expected is 0.05. What's the run looking like? He's playing in 10, it looks like, and they're playing Blackburn, Bristol, Leicester, Coventry.
Yeah, a mixed few games coming up for him. I saw one team with him, and he's never played Gaffr before, and you picked him in his midfield. He was very good. A lot of the picks were template, apart from Tufan. But I mean, I was very impressed with that pick. It was very good.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Should we go on to our plans for game week 2?
Yeah.
Game week 2? Game week 3, sorry. David, what are you thinking at this stage?
I think I could roll with my team at the moment, because I can just bench the players I don't like, and that's good for me, because then they can just like not get points on the bench either. So yeah, my team, I have Ashby, Semedo, and Castagna benched at the moment, and Dieng as well, and starting row. Well, hopefully that's something this week as well. But yeah, my only thing was like, if I was to transfer out Castagna, I saw a lot of people just went the sideways swap to Ricardo, which is okay. They have a good game coming up, but the thing I'm thinking about is, should I lock myself into a triple Leicester with a defender now? Should I just wait and see if maybe the strike situation becomes more clear, so I can get Iheanacho or something? But yeah, at the moment he's just a third bench. But I'm a bit worried that he will just get mass sold when people notice that he's not going to play, or he gets sold. But yeah, the other thing I was thinking about was getting Delgado for Ashby. But if I'm to follow my own advice, I should probably just bench Ashby until Game Week 4 and just start playing him, because people have very high hopes for him as a player before he came to Swansea. It just hasn't worked out in the first 2 weeks. So I don't know much about him, to be honest, but he could be a good player. So I probably shouldn't use a transfer just on Swansea form if I don't know that what he's going to do.
I feel like it's a transfer you could make further down the line, but at this particular moment, there are probably bigger priorities, right?
Yeah. Also could consider going Semedo out, but I don't really see a way to start him because I don't want to bench Pirro and I'm probably getting I could do it if I don't transfer out the Dozy, actually. So yeah, my captaincy at the moment is on Armstrong with purely on recency bias, but Plymouth could ship goals against Southampton, and vice captain is on Mavididi. So yeah, I think that's my team. I'll have to think about it. It's a midweek cup game anyway, so I probably shouldn't do anything before that. So sometime.
It's a cup game.
Yeah, I think so.
That was last week, wasn't it?
Or
are they doing round 2?
Oh yeah, that's probably right. I just thought I saw it somewhere, but it could be wrong.
Possibly. Yeah, I think it might be the week after that's round 2.
Okay.
But yeah. Right, my team. I've got some stuff to think about, really. I don't know what I'm going to do, but my key questions are: do I need to get Armstrong ahead of Plymouth and QPR? The answer is probably yes.
Yes.
If so, do I sell Pirro, or do I take a hit by downgrading Sinistera and getting Nisbet? I think if I was to decide right now, I would do that. The thing that I'm a little bit annoyed about is that by getting Teller, I didn't give myself enough money in the bank to do it without a hit. But as Sinistera probably needs to go anyway, that doesn't mean it's too bad. But if I sell Sinistera, I think I need to go down to 7 million. Let me just triple check that. If I can go down to 7.5, I could try and get Sarah, but I don't think I can afford that. I was forgetting. Yeah, I need to go down to 7. Lose is 7.1, so I can't do that. I could just go all the way down to row and temporarily have a cheaper midfield than I'd like, and kind of invest a bit more money in that later on. For 7, I feel like row actually might be one of the best options for me to go for, to be honest. Yeah. I would have loved to go for Sarah, but I just don't think it's workable at the minute. So that's what I'm currently thinking. I'm also thinking of starting Dieng over Hladecki, but I could be convinced otherwise on that. The reason why is just purely because QPR are at home, and Huddersfield are poor. But that is very much a 50-50. I doubt it'll be too punishing either way, though, if I get it wrong. So we'll see. So that's my plan. My captaincy, I don't know what I'm going to do for captaincy. I think if Armstrong comes in, it'll be on him. Vice captaincy on Pirro or Teller. I really, really need Teller to repay. I mean, these next two, Plymouth and QPR, he needs to do the points. He needs to do the points the next 2 weeks. Otherwise, that might rescue my start to the season if he does. But if not, then it's not looking good. Okay, so Abhishek has already done his moves, actually. He's brought in Sarah and Broadhead for Sims and Sinistera, which are 2 very good moves. He had 2 free transfers he'd rolled, so yeah, he's looking quite well set for this game week. But he's captaining Frank Jensen, which is very interesting. But yeah, he was frustrated with Sims. He only played 65 minutes at the weekend, so that was causing him some problems. So he's thinking he's going to sell him and maybe look to get him back in once he's kind of found his feet in that Coventry side. And yeah, his captaincy is on Funkyo with Vice or Broadheads, and he believes that won't change. So yeah, his team is looking pretty strong. So Ingram in goal, Rankin Costello, Davis, Mumba, Franco Jensen, Sara, Taller, Dewsbury Hall, Nisbet, Pirot, Broadhead. But he's benched Manning again. I imagine Manning won't stay benched. I imagine he'll
No.
but,
It was a good move to bench him last week, though.
yeah, but he got him on the
That's
Since
unreal.
So he looked so clever, but then he got him on the Since
Okay. Wasn't that best.
Yeah. Cool. And that wraps up this this Game Week 2 reactions video. David, do you have any final thoughts? Anything to say?
No, not really. I don't think so.
Cool. In that case, we'll be back soon for another reactions video, and probably after Game Week 4-ish, we'll probably do a long episode on to look at the start of the season in more depth. But until then, it's goodbye and see you next time. So goodbye from me.
Ha det bra.